Hello everyone, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Stella with Jenny, and if this is your first time stopping by, please don't make it your last. In today's video, we're going to learn how to make this jumpsuit palazzo pants with a drawstring sleeve. So if that's something you're so much interested in watching, do well to watch till the end. Subscribe, like, and share. And let's hop on to the video. The first thing to do is to draft. We're going to draft first, cut, and then sew. So this is me drafting the trouser pants. Drafting the pants part of the tutorial. And I measured my waist to hip line, my waist to the crotch, and my waist to the length, the full length of my trouser. Then the next thing to do is to mark your waist, your hip divided by 4 plus half an inch. Mark it up to the crotch line. From my hip line, I came down by 3 inches for my crotch depth. So 3 inches is okay. You can add half an inch to it if you want it too free, but 3 inches is okay. So for the front crotch extension, your hip circumference divided by 4, the value you got, divide it again by 4 to have your front crotch extension. So that's what I did here. Then I'm going to go out by 1 inch from that point. From that midpoint, I'll go up by 1 inch, and I'm going to use my curve rule, my French curve, to make the curve for that place. It's supposed to be that low so that it will fit in properly. So I'm going to find the midpoint, and I'll mark the value I got on my crotch line extension up until the full length of my trouser pants. So I'm going to mark it like that. This is a palazzo pants cutting, so you can just leave it this way, just add the necessary allowances, and your palazzo is ready. I'm going to extend the center line up to the length of my trouser pants. The next thing is to mark my waist circumference divided by 4 plus half an inch. I'll add half an inch to it to allow me for joining allowance. So I'm just extending the midpoint, the middle line of the trouser pant to my waistline, and I'll connect my waist to the hip line like that. So that will serve as the curve for this part. Then I'll level it. The next thing is to add half an inch allowance to that part for joining allowance. That's for the front part. Then after that, I will go ahead to extend the crotch length for the back part of my palazzo pants. So here you will mark about 3 inches to extend the back crotch and come up by 2.5 for the curving of the back crotch. So and that's that. This needs to be relaxed. Then after that, I marked the same value, about 2.5. I marked it all the way down. And I'll connect it with my straight ruler. So after connecting it, I will come at the waistline. I'll go in by 0.5. This is to eliminate zipper bulge for my pants. So that is it for this tutorial. I'll just label the back and I'll cut it out. Just pay attention as I am cutting so that you know how I cut and where I did not cut. So cut out the full length and make sure that this is set. The next thing is to divide this into 2. At this point, if you added your your dart, you have to close the dart here, then slash the middle part to spread it. But because I don't work with that, I don't like working with that, and my outfit comes out perfectly. I don't like those darts like that. So just slash it to this point. Don't open it entirely. Then you spread it. So I'm going to fold in the half-inch allowance to avoid zipper bulge. You remember I marked half-inch allowance there. So I'm just going to fold it in there and mark 1 inch on the upper part, half-inch on the waistline, and 1 inch at the crotch line. So I'll go ahead to connect those lines, the 1 inch. So 1 inch at the crotch line and half-inch at the waistline. You don't need to add any other allowance by the sides. Remember, we added half an inch for the other part and half an inch at the crotch line. So just add at the waistline and the crotch line. That's where we need the allowance. Then after that, I'm going to cut it. So while cutting, be careful. Make sure you pin down. Make sure you pin down everything. Yeah, I was even struggling with the breeze because I was outside filming this tutorial. Make sure you pin down so that you don't get distracted. At the end of the day, you get the wrong measurements. So I'm just confirming my measurements for the back waistline. I'm going to do the same thing for the front. I'm going to cut out the back first. The back extension I added. Just watch closely and carefully. I'm going to cut it. I'm not going in, I won't go in with the zipper bulge elimination I did for the back. It doesn't concern the front. So I'll just cut it like that. And I will spread the front just the same amount of fabric or the same amount of inches I used for the back. Just spread it like that. Add your 1 inch at the crotch and half-inch at the waistline. Then you cut. So that is it for the pants part of this tutorial. Then for the top part, that's the one with the drawstring. I've cut out the pattern I need and I've labeled it. So at the shoulder line, I'm going to mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2. You're taking your shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus the length of your sleeve. I worked with 12 inches. So depending on what you want. So I'm taking my neck width of 3.5 and shoulder slope of 1 inch. I'm going to connect from the neck width to the shoulder slope of 1 inch. The slope of 1 inch I marked. So connect from the shoulder, from the neck width to the shoulder slope. Now I'm going to take my bust measurement. So at the bust measurement, I'm going to mark the same 19 inches because that will serve as my sleeve, my armhole. Then I minused 4 inches from the 19 inches, that's 15 inches. I marked it for my under bust. I marked it at the under bust. I'm going to make use of that 15 inches. Now at the waistline, I took my waist circumference divided by 4, which is 7 inches. That's what I'm going to mark, and I'll mark it at that under bust measurement because I'll cut it out as a separate measurement. Then with my French curve, I'm going to curve the armhole like that. So from the sleeve to the under bust measurement. Now for the neck depth, I'm coming down to the under bust for the front neck depth. So at that 3.5 inches, I'll come down to my under bust. Then for the back, I'm going to mark 8 inches. I don't want it that deep like the front. So I'm going to mark 8 inches and connect it at the same 3.5 inches. So that is it for the front and the back. Then I'm going to eliminate the zipper bulge by 1/2 inch, connect it to the back neck depth. 1/2 inch, connect to the back neck depth. I'm going to also mark 1/2 inch over there to prevent it from sagging. So I'm connecting it back to the 1 inch I marked earlier for the shoulder slope. So this is going out and the new line is there. I'm going to cut through the back neck depth and also the waistline. Just watch as I cut. Cutting the back neck depth, the new shoulder slope. After I came down by 1/2 inch, then the waistline, that's for the waist. So I'm just following the curve. I'm going to fold in the 1/2 inch to cut for the back fabric. So I'm folding in the zipper bulge so I'm able to cut the back fabric or the back part of this jumpsuit. Then after that, I added 1/2 inch over there, 1 inch at the zipper line, 1/2 inch at the under bust, 1 inch at the shoulder line, 1 inch at the sleeve, and also 1/2 inch at the other parts. Then for the waist part of it, I added 1 inch at the zipper line, then 1/2 inch at the other parts for joining. Then the next thing is to cut for the front. I'll get my pattern and I will eliminate the back neck depth. I'll just cut through the front neck depth and I'll place my pattern on my fabric, trace it out and cut. So I have 1 inch at the shoulder line, I have 1/2 inch at the neckline, 1/2 inch at the other bust, 1 inch at the sleeve, and a 1/2 inch for the other part for joining. Then the waistline, I cut it on fold because I don't need to join it or put a zipper on that area. So that's it for this part. Then my next video will be on how to join. See you in my next one. Bye.